Hello everyone and welcome to game 2 of our CCA League triple header for week 4. I am Mizuno, joined by my good friend and co-leader of the CCA, DRF. DRF, game 2 of our triple header. Woo!
Yes, game 2. And, we had a fantastic Div 1 set earlier. We are now jumping over to Division 3. And this is another high stakes matchup for the two teams involved. We have the Grizzco Workers Union from Worcester Polytechnic Institute versus MSU White, the JV team from Michigan State University.
So we have some hardcore Michigan rep going on here tonight. And to talk a little bit about this matchup real quick, never mind, right as I say that, we still have TDLR, very high stakes to get a potential playoff berth for MSU White. We'll talk a little bit more about it in the next game, but we are jumping right into game 1 of our CCA triple header.
Oh boy, here we go, starting right from the top. Rainmaker on Sturgeon Shipyard. Early on, we are seeing the Grizzco Workers Union getting that initial pop, and they are going to take this right up to that first checkpoint very quickly. They're going to get shut down right in time, though, and they're going to bring that all the way to 66. They're going to play at a lightning fast pace, it seems, but for now, it is going to get punished. And now this is an opportunity for Michigan State to get back in here after an early deficit.
Right, we have Worcester in the blue here and MSU White in the yellow. Already jumping all the way up into that top left here, unable to get to the podium in time, getting stopped by Garrett on that gal. We see looks like Worcester trying to jump on over and head over to the podium, unable to get any further, getting stopped by the Flingza here.
A great stop indeed. So very quick trades and pushes for both of these teams. Both of these teams are very antsy and ready to go, as we have already seen here. Just a minute and 15 into this game. A nice pick there with the missiles for this Flingza Krona, but they're going to get shut down by the Splatling. This Hydra playing from underneath the Grizzco Workers Union. That's going to be a 3-down situation now. So this is an opportunity for that first checkpoint to fall. But no, the Blaster coming up clutch here, not letting a single point slip. And the rest of their team is going to respawn here. And this should be a good opportunity for Michigan State to get back in the mid.
Great defensive efforts on MSU's Hydra and Blaster players, holding it down and preventing Worcester from reaching that checkpoint. Rainmaker jumps back on over to mid. The Rapid Blaster setting up a wave breaker to kind of scout out their opponents, but falls back just a bit. Gets a great pick here to go down. We see the Blaster still trying to throw on some pressure. Grabs the Rainmaker by mistake, I believe, and goes down. Just constant trades back and forth as Worcester and MSU White just exchanging trades and numbers at this point. Members keep falling down, and it's just a giant domino effect.
Oh boy, and look at this. Garrett is going to try to stop this lead from falling, but no, it is going to be the lead in favor of Michigan State. But they do lose 3 members while they are at it, and Worcester is going to pick this Rainmaker up very quick, and they're looking to get the lead back. They do not want to be in a deficit for more than just a few seconds here, and that's going to be the first checkpoint falling. A tit for tat now between these two teams as they are just responding push for push. But look at this! Look at the jump! And that's gonna be a push all the way down to 38 remaining. Wow!
That Flingza propelled themselves. They know about the points and getting over, and they just saw the opportunity against it, the stringer, and took it. Great play there by Worcester and that Flingza player, and that play is crucial. It is so difficult to get points on this map, as we had seen in our previous matchup between MSU Splatoon, the varsity team, and their opponents, the Husky Splatsville Knights. MSU White looking to respond. They are going to take the spinner all the way up to the top here, maybe hoping to get a vantage view. So the Rainmaker supported by the Splattershot player, hoping to get some picks, falls down, but Justin is able to rush right back onto the podium, but is stopped short there by the Blaster.
An excellent push in response by Wooster there to bring that all the way, to a nice, comfortable position. They're not in a position right now to get more points on the board quite yet, but they are maintaining so much pressure right now. They're getting trades in the zone, in the Michigan State half of the map, which works entirely in their favor at this point. With 40 seconds to play, Michigan State is still very much on the defensive. They need to go ahead and convert this defense into offense, but they can't be taking trades. They need to be finding favorable matchups here, and it's not happening. But the Hydra is picking up the Rainmaker. That should have been a reset. And no, this is going to be detrimental to Michigan State as they're going to bring this one up and get a trade there, and that is not in their favor whatsoever. Possibly a bad play call here that could cost them the game.
Right, I was about to say there might have been some miscommunication going on, because that was a very odd play to make when the Rainmaker was just about to reset and the Hydra was the last man standing. Wooster is going to take the Rainmaker to a stalling point and bring the game to a close. Wooster taking the first game of the set versus MSU White.
Wow. I think Michigan State was in a very difficult position there. So it's, oh, there we go, the quad dab. Gotta hit him with it.
Gotta hit the quad dab.
But as I was saying, Michigan State was in a very tricky position there. Any trades at that stage were on their half of the map. Grizzco Workers Union was doing such a fantastic job of maintaining that pressure that I'm not sure if Michigan State would have even gotten back to mid on a Rainmaker reset. So I think they really just had to go for it almost. It would have been a better play call to just let it reset, give yourself a better opportunity, but I think they definitely got a little antsy there, and I'm not even sure if they would have had the opportunity on a reset, so I can't quite blame them either.
I mean, just that pressure of the clock ticking and the really poor position that you're in, that you've been placed, where you're down this giant deficit. It feels like you just have a giant wall to scale. I mean, that I can totally understand that pressure regardless of skill level. It can be pretty daunting, and you sometimes make the wrong decisions thinking out of desperation. You have to react, you have to do something. And that's something that a lot of teams and a lot of players, including myself, still struggle with to this day. I mean, regardless of skill level.
Oh, absolutely. It's a lot of just practice, and with some of these teams, especially as we start to look into Div 3, don't really have that experience necessarily. So everything is a learning experience. So that might be a learning experience there for Michigan State as they find themselves in an early 0-1 deficit. But they're gonna look to redeem themselves on Splatzone's Inkblot Art Academy. And given the comps that we've been seeing so far, I think that Hydra could be pretty beneficial, especially if Grizzco doesn't come out with a charger to counter that.
I was just about to say, MSU can really take advantage of the backline composition with that Hydra. I feel like weapons like the Hydra or the Explosher might be a little bit more favorable on Inkblot Art Academy relative to a charger, just because of the paint output that it could deal, as well as the, I guess, the extra just bursts of range that you're able to just, lob over onto plat or lob over into like those courts on either side of the map. I think MSU can definitely play to its strengths there, but we're just gonna have to wait and see as we quickly enter into Splat Zone's Inkblot Art Academy Game 2.
Oh, and there is the E-Leader pivot, actually. And it's gonna be Grizzco Workers Union that comes out with the Hydra. A very interesting set of adjustments here for both of these teams. Wow. And I think that MSU might have just made the better adjustments here.
Right, I mean, we were expecting MSU to bring the Hydra. The MSU in blue, not Wooster. What a surprising turn of events.
Definitely surprising indeed, but right now, Michigan State struggling to get down off of their plat here. The E-leader is so effective, but only effective if you can land your shots. Finally gonna land one there, and it's gonna be 2 down on either side, as now this is just an absolute bloodbath. Both of these teams trying to get first control of the zone, but it's not falling either way quite yet. The Tri-Slosher doing their best to hold off this Worcester push, but it's not going to be any good, as now we see it's the Grizzco Workers Union with first control of the zone.
Right, I mean, just the constant back and forth here. I mean, that zone didn't fall for 45 seconds. The objective wasn't really on the mind of either team, to be, it looked like. They were trying to look for crucial picks and in hopes of getting kind of just a little bit more comfortability to no, a great inkjet play onto Booster's Hydra. From MSU, 2 go down from the inkjet. Oh my god, MSU's try played that so incredibly well. That was a great set of picks there, but they fall to the roller, dropping down onto front flat.
I need to go back and see that one. That was phenomenal. A phenomenal play there from Spell to hold on to the zone, and Michigan State is still holding on to the zone, but no, it looks like they're gonna be 1-point shy. No, they hold on to it and get the lead. Michigan State is still in control. The Tri-Slosher is on a rampage here, finally gonna get shut down by this not K Machine, sloshing machine. We don't have K Machines quite yet in this game.
I keep making the same mistake. I called the splatter shot the K shot earlier. I mean, it's a poor habit. Nonetheless, Worcester now has controlled the zone, lobbing everything and anything onto their opponent's flat. The punishment is slowly winding down. Great kill here from the sloshing to get a crucial pick. The 2 goes down on the side of MSU. Make that 3. The sloshing machine is on the rampage and secures a wipeout and rolls right onto the enemy spawn. Drops a booyah and is putting a lot of pressure onto MSU, and they take the lead.
Oh boy, and it's not over yet. Finally gonna get shut down, but the machine's damage has already been done, and now Michigan State is scrambling to get control of this zone. The E-leader is gonna be forced to drop, and this is looking like a Grizzco Workers Union knockout. Wow, what a game 2.
Wow. Wow. That sloshing machine. Oh, I hope. Oh man, we gotta look at those stats later. The sloshing machine, like you said, literally went on a rampage. I think they probably got almost like what 5 or 6 consecutive kills right there from that one moment. I mean, that was incredible. That was a fantastic set of plays there from Worcester, and I think just the fact that they were able to enable their teammate to get onto that plat and let them proceed to go on said rampage, I think says a ton here. And with a resounding win, a resounding knockout, Worcester is in the lead of the set 2-0. And this is looking very familiar to the set that we just saw previously, DRF, with MSU Splatoon.
Yeah, it certainly is. Looking at Grizzco Workers Union taking the early 2-0 victory, and you know, it's Michigan State, similar to their varsity counterpoints. They're in this set, but they just haven't quite converted into a victory yet. It's still early on, but this is a very, very crucial map mode, Tower Control Eeltail Alley, and this I think is a pretty unfortunate map 3, because this is so momentum based, and everything right now is pointing towards a Grizzco Workers Union 3-0 lead if the momentum maintains itself. I think if they can just get a couple, 1 or 2 early picks, we might see a quick 2-minute game.
Right. I mean, picks are going to be really crucial here at the start, and setting that neutral to your favor is going to be so key for MSU to not fall under the same trap that their varsity counterparts did to the Husky Splatsville Knights. And they had the potential. I mean, you saw in that previous match on Zone's ink blot, the zone didn't fall to either side of either team for almost a whole minute. So they are fully capable of gaining a neutral and keeping some positioning and map control You're right. I think part of it is an execution that they need to actually try to convert and get those points on the ground and during the actual game after neutral.
All right, so here we go into game number 3. It's a 2-0 lead for the Grizzco Workers Union. Taking a look at several adjustments on either side, we've got the Hydra mirror match.
I'm going to love this mirror match. We have MSU White in the lime green and Worcester Grizzco Workers Union in the purple. I also see a VDS, a custom dually squelcher also being pulled out. Oh my god, and right as I say that, we just see a bloodbath happen in the middle of the map. We have Worcester only dropping 2, while MSU dropped 3 members, and it's just the Hydra remaining trying to fight off the rest of the Worcester squad. And the tower is already almost at the check. It just reaches the checkpoint for Worcester. Dear F, MSU's in trouble again.
Yeah, and it's just the map mode is so momentum heavy. And look at this. It's going to be Neptune that is going to break through the second checkpoint and try to get out alive. They're able to take someone down before they go down themselves. Wow, a phenomenal job from the Grizzco Workers Union to break through 2 checkpoints in the first minute. Luckily for Michigan State, they were able to piece this one together and get the stop. They're going to buy themselves an opportunity now. They get the pick on the NZAP, but they're going to lose 2 of their own. It's a 2v2 situation now. Even numbers on both sides, but this bubbler is going to help them break through this first checkpoint, and I really think that that's going to be a key for I guess specifically MSU. I think they're the only ones with that bubbler here, and it's so important for these tower control maps.
Right, the sustainability of the bubbler and the Booyah Bomb. Both teams are wielding Booyah Bombs with, I believe it's Worcester actually wielding 2 Booyah Bombs with both the Hydra and the Sloshing Machine. Booyahs are going to be crucial for making or breaking a push or stopping a push altogether if you're on the defensive front. But we already see, it looks like Worcester is back at it again with their push and putting on a lot of pressure onto MSU White, fighting for that tower and taking 2 down, 3 down. It's just the Hydra left on MSU White, and they are fighting. They get the wipeout. MSU actually secures a wipeout, but they do lose a couple of points during that exchange.
And it definitely could have been much worse, but it seemed like the Grizzco Workers Union, they actually slipped off the tower there. The tower kind of got stuck in a position where it was a bit hard to climb. So now it's going to be an opportunity for Michigan State to get a push going. That bubbler helping them get it started. They're able to find 3 picks there, but it's the machine that is causing havoc and is able to find 3 of their own.
Roster on this sloshing machine. This is the key player that has been giving MSU White so much trouble, not only in this game but in the prior match in Splat Zone Ink Lot. Oh, we almost see a good pick here. A couple of trades going on in the middle of the map here, and MSU is looking to start something yet again because 3 go down. This looks like a great opportunity to regain some of that control they had lost during this neutral exchange.
They're going to go ahead and break that wave breaker as well. And it looks like it's starting to push up just a little bit, trading players there. They need to get Frosta off of this top right area. The bubble now coming out. I think this bubble just continues to come out maybe just a little bit too early. They need it for this crucial checkpoint, but they don't have it by the time it gets there. The NZAP, the last one standing, as it's 3 down yet again. There's the wipeout. This is an opportunity for Michigan State now to get the lead, but they need to hold off all of the Grizzco Workers Union members as they dive in from spawn. They are 7 points away from the lead. Here it is, the lead exchange.
Oh my gosh, I mean, I was just holding onto my breath there. With the Grizzco Workers Union just charging at everyone. MSU, I really like this play by MSU. I think this was a little bit more of an act of desperation, but all 3 remaining players hopped on the tower to secure that lead. They were going to do anything and everything it took to make sure they secured that lead, because who knows if they were ever going to get that chance ever again. However, this might have been at the cost of having a staggered respawn here. They are returning slowly 1 by 1, staggered specials, and Worcester is already back at their previous points at 41, and 2 are down on the side of MSU.
Oh boy, and very quickly the lead is exchanged back, just like in game 1. Worcester does not know how to be in a deficit for long, as they are ready to respond each and every single time. 15 seconds to play. Booyah bombs coming out from the Grizzco Workers Union to try and stagger this Michigan State team even more. 3 down, make that a wipeout, and this game is over. The Grizzco Workers Union takes a 3-0 lead.
Wow. I mean, Worcester knows, they just know how to fight back, man. I mean, even with such a deficit, like you have 50 seconds left and you just lost the lead and you have some really big points to make up from. They just persisted and continued. They just persisted and played what they were used to playing, letting Frosta just kind of go wild and go ham, basically. Letting some of their other players support Frosta and ensuring that they're able to move. And MSU, like I mentioned during that push, they had staggered respawns, and even though they had a couple of specials pop up to kind of stall that push, they didn't have a united front to address Worcester as they were ready to take on that checkpoint.
Oh man, yeah, and I think Michigan State's issue there was consistently jumping in after, like you had mentioned. It seemed like they were playing a little bit desperate. They wanted to try to extend that lead, but it ultimately staggered them. And I loved the anticipatory play by the Grizzco Workers Union to send a couple members out to start pushing into the base of MSU White. That's really what did it for them. It was just so well executed that there was no response, and they were once again able to work out of a deficit in less than 30 seconds.
Right, great thing that you mentioned that too, because that's such a great use of like team coordination and execution, right? Because that means they had a plan in mind going in. They knew exactly what to do, what they had to do to get back that lead. And that's great, just great synergy and great teamwork and play calling. And so, I mean, Worcester has some great fundamentals established as a newer team into this collegiate scene, and it's paying them off right now completely as they are heading. Oh my gosh, they're already 3-0. We are back in the same situation as before with our previous matchup of the night. Game 4, Clan Blitz, Mahi Mahi Resort. Worcester ready to get out the broom for a clean sweep, and MSU White backed into a corner, having to completely 180 this entire set around.
They can do it. They 100% can do it. Michigan State held leads in all 3 games at some point in the second half. It's just that the Grizzco Workers Union are trying to take the comeback champions title from the Neo Comet Blasters from season 1. I don't think they've been in quite that type of deficit, but they have worked out of a deficit every single time, and that's what really makes this team scary, is that no lead is ever safe. You need to be smart about when you get the lead. You can't overplay, because now you're just going to be playing right into their hands, and it's going to be over. They'll flip it back on you 30 seconds tops.
I couldn't agree with you more, and this is where the mistakes can be truly punished in Clan Blitz Mahi Mahi here. Game 4, we have Worcester in the blue/purple, I mean colors these days, and MSU White in the bright stinking orange. Already one player goes down on the side of MSU White, and we're only 15 seconds in. Another player drops on the side of Worcester. And D-Rev, I think we're just going to see a lot of deaths in this match.
Oh, that's the nature of Mahi Mahi Resort, really. It's when you have such a close-knit map and Hydras on either side, a lot of range to work with for both of these teams, it's natural that you're going to be seeing a lot of picks going either way, and these picks might not even amount to anything either, as we have seen so far with this push coming in from the Grizzco Workers Union. That's going to be the Clam going to waste their shattering and along with their hopes of this first push. But now it's going to be up to Michigan State to try to work their way back into mid, because that they're able to get these stops and a couple of picks, but they struggle to get this map control and control of the clam economy as well. And that's going to be necessary if they want to get a push going early on.
The key to this match here is not the defensive game, but the offensive game. Both teams having these strong Hydra players and a Bamboo player on the side of MSU White. Their defensive efforts are going to be just fine. It's whoever is able to get the stronger pushes at the end of the day is the team that's going to succeed. Wooster already getting a start at that, dropping in a ball and one clam. But it looks like that's all that'll go into the basket as that shuts close and drops a pity clam for MSU White.
That's going to be a 1+1 for them. And now Michigan State eagerly trying to work their way back into mid here. 2 players down on either side. Make that a third. And this is an opportunity now. Can they get the Hydra? Yes, they will. The gates are now open. Can they hold this position? It looks like the Grizzco Workers Union is staggering just enough to where they could put together a defensive stop here, and that's actually going to miraculously work out for them. Now the power clam going to come in. They get the 1 additional clam, but that's going to be it for this push, it seems. It's going to be a 1-1, and this is it. No, they get the extra power clam in for the lead halfway through this game, but a single power clam can flip this one back, and if Michigan State has learned anything, this push is going to come fast from the Grizzco Workers Union.
Gonna say the Hydra sneaking in there for that 1 clam, and is it worth it is the question. Right now, yes, that play is working out really well because even with the stagger delay from that Hydra going down, they've just missed the ball throw though, but they're back at it, and they make the throw, but Wooster is just down to their sloshing machine player. Never mind! Frosta goes down and Wooster has a staggered delay. The water level is dropping, so the map composition has now completely changed in favor, of course, of the currently losing team. And the basket finally comes to a close for Wooster's sake, down to 49 points, DRF.
I think Michigan State is slowly starting to figure this one out. This Grizzco Workers Union team has given them so much trouble as they are successfully able to convert defense to offense every single time. Here comes a nice power clam toss to their teammate. That's going to be enough to get it into the basket there, and this should be a lead exchange once again. The sloshing machine able to get a nice pick, make that 2. No, not going to be the case as the Hydra once again coming in clutch, getting 3 down here, and this push is over. So now it's going to be Michigan State once again playing from behind, but this time this deficit is much more workable as they are going to need 1+2 to get the lead back.
I'm gonna say they have a lot to work with here with that killer rail and booyah combo. Oh, the Hydra player calling out that sloshing machine, that is huge. They only have 1 player, 2 players to deal right in front of them, but the Hydra from Wooster completely stops any push in their tracks. And I was about to say, that was a great start of a potential push to gain back those points. But, I mean, the Hydra player and the sloshing machine, both working in tandem right there, just puts a stop to MSU's plans. Now with only 30 seconds left, both teams have a ball. Whoever makes the push first is likely going to secure this game.
The Grizzco Workers Union does have 3 power clams, so if this push is successful, it is going to be massive. And here it is. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. They only need 2 clams to win, and there is the knockout! Grizzco Workers Union sweeps Michigan State.
Wow. Like I just said, whoever was able to make that push first wins. But right as I said that, I didn't realize Wooster had 2 clam balls to work with. That extreme amount of pressure is just so daunting, and Wooster was able to play off of that, and with a couple of quick specials and that booyah bomb to secure a little bit more wiggle room, they were able to secure the knockout and the set. Wow, GG's to Wooster.
Yeah, I mean, GG's indeed. That was a very well fought 4 games. You know, it didn't come easy at all. They faced a deficit in every single game and worked their way back. Michigan State, I think, really started to figure out the puzzle here as they proceeded through this set. It just unfortunately was a little bit too little too late. And you know, you hate to see it for Michigan State in this case, but I gotta give so much credit to Grizzco Workers Union. They are such a tenacious bunch. Like, I'm impressed. I'm very, very impressed. And this win, I don't think necessarily secures them playoffs. I think there could still be some funny business with tiebreakers, but I think it basically increases their chances of playoffs to like 90%.
Right, they are the most likely number one candidate right now for that number one slot for playoffs. And unfortunately for MSU, this was their fighting chance to secure that playoff spot with and the standings before this match going in, they were placed in third. They had to win this match to potentially secure the number 2 spot. However, with this loss to Grizzco Workers Union, MSU's chances for a playoff berth are unfortunately no more. But I mean, I credit where credit is due, not only to Grizzco Workers Union, but to MSU White. This is the JV team of MSU. So MSU has 2 teams now, and they had some big footsteps to follow under the MSU varsity team. And for their first showing in this league and in their group, they have some outstanding potential, and I'm so excited to see where they go because I love some of the comps and play styles that they were running during this matchup, and a huge tip of the hat, if you will, for MSU White.
Oh, definitely. I am so thoroughly impressed with both of these teams. Michigan State White, the JV team. I think there's a few different JV teams that are in Division 3, so it's a bit of a JV team's paradise here. So it's very exciting to see. And actually going through the numbers here, I guess I will be the first to congratulate the Grizzco Workers Union on being the second team to confirm a playoff spot in the entire CCA league. It is statistically impossible for them to drop below the 2nd seed at this stage. So congratulations to the Grizzco Workers Union. Actually, I think we might have, let's see, we might be able to get one of these players in here.
Oh, I think that would be fantastic. So we at the CCA streams here, we've been trying to experiment with different ways of, passing the time for headers because, in between the sets, right? Teams have designated specific slots. So we might have a little bit of extra time here to kind of fill the gaps. We've done an analyst desk before, but one idea that we've had was player interviews. Hopefully we might be able to grab a Worcester player into the stream here. If not, I believe our backup plan is a quick little analyst desk that we can kind of shift on over to.
Yes, and go ahead and excuse my typing, folks, but yeah, we are actively working with the Grizzco Workers Union to see if we can get someone on stream for a bit, because I would love to kind of see what the mindset is and their experiences so far this season, because they are a brand new team. One of our lovely staff members, Kira, is an alumni of Worcester Polytechnic Institute. So I think this is an excellent opportunity to kind of get to know this university a little bit better. So we have a few of them in VC, so let's actually go ahead and drag them in. So give us just a second here. Hello.
Hello, Worcester. Hi, guys. We figured out how to pronounce your school's name.
So, first of all, congratulations. I believe we can officially say that you are the first Division 3 team to secure a playoff spot. How does that feel?
Feels amazing, honestly.
It does feel amazing.
We this whole league has been an absolute wonderful experience for all. I'm the only one on our team that's any competitive experience. So just seeing my fellow teammates get together and get to experience this competitive environment to do well is amazing. So we're really happy and excited for the future.
That is awesome. I know Corona, you said that you're the only one with true competitive experience. Can you give us a little bit of background? Actually, it's always interesting to see the different people that have experience and coming to the universities and forming a team. So what's your background?
Yeah, so I played on a single Splatoon team at the beginning of Splatoon 2. I played on just for the halibut for like 8 months or so, and I kind of dipped from the competitive scene. But once Splatoon 3 was coming out, I asked some of my friends who I knew played Splatoon, and we made a server and got people together. And I saw that the CCA League was having a second season. I said, "Hey, would anyone be interested in this? Just putting out some fields can be a very casual thing." And lo and behold, we had eight total people that were interested in
Whoa.
participating. So yeah, that's a little bit of a story behind us there.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty awesome. I guess for how do you pronounce it? Find? Find?
Yeah.
Find?
In my
Find
in-game
and-
name, I changed it to Rocket Fuel. So I should probably update that here.
Probably a good idea, but for Finn, Frosta, and Neptune, who just joined us here, maybe you guys can kind of share your experiences with kind of dipping your toes into the competitive scene, since this is kind of your quote-unquote first time playing in a more competitive team-based environment. Maybe you guys can share a little bit about your experiences and what you've gone through.
So for me, I've never really dabbled in competitive. I've always just been like the solo queue warrior grind because I just didn't want to join. I joined some servers, but I didn't really participate in anywhere. And so I got Splatoon in the early-ish era where Try was insanely strong and it was rapid blasters and stuff like that. So starting from the original and then coming here and then playing in this league. I've always wanted to get into competitive. I just didn't know how and where to go. And so now this is a really good place for me to play competitive and play with my friends.
My experience, I know it's gonna be slightly different than Frosta's. I've been playing Splatoon since 2015-ish. When the game first came out, I saw it in the direct, and I was like, "Oh, that looks interesting. I might as well pick it up." And at first, none of the real weapon classes spoke out to me, and then when the Splatlings and Sloshers got announced, I was like, "Okay, finally something I feel like I can use." So I've been kind of on that solo warrior grind as a Splatling main, which has been a bit of an up and down road since Splatoon 2. And I've definitely tried to, especially since I got here, and I asked around a little bit during Splatoon 2, and I couldn't find enough folks who wanted to make a competitive team, really anyone at all. But then due to a little bit of luck and stumbling upon the right people at the right time in the WPI Discord, I kind of got roped in here. And then when Cronus suggested a league, I was head over heels for the idea.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad people have been really receptive and there's a lot of positive attitudes and energies towards the league, because I think it's something that's it's not a new idea, but it's a new idea to a different audience, right?
Yeah.
I guess I can also hop on this. Solo warrioring, that's something that I'm also very used to.
Let's go.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I played Turf War for the majority of Splatoon 2. I hardly dabbled in ranked. And then, what was it? Met all these guys, fantastic people, similar story, grinded ranked mode in this game, and I started practicing with these guys, and it's just been an absolutely lovely experience, right? I played other competitive games before, previously Smash Ultimate, but having a team-based game and team-based effort, right, where everyone needs to work together and synchronize their plays and push together is just something new and different for me that is enjoyable. Yeah, this game's amazing.
Man, that's awesome.
That is awesome to hear. So I actually have a bit of a question about the match that we just saw. We saw in every single game in this set, all 4 games, you were in a deficit at some point. Take me through that. How do you guys address these situations here? What are the callouts like? Because every time we saw you in a deficit, it was almost a certainty that you were gonna flip it back on Michigan State in 30 seconds flat. Which is very, very impressive just to see. So, what's the mindset like? What's the callouts like, when you're in those positions?
Well, it's definitely It's definitely a little bit chaotic in our BC, I'll tell you that. We really just try to take it a few, a few seconds at a time in these matches. Obviously, for us, it's very important to, build the good ground up of painting the ground, getting map control, stuff like that, and then to start getting a few picks, stopping those pushes, getting back control, and then, starting to slowly work our way into steamrolling for a push is really kind of how we take it. A lot of this is unintentional just because of how people play. Frost and Neptune work really well together, balancing the Slayer roles for us. And I know that like Finn, myself, and Garrett too are really good at just kind of keeping map control, keeping people away from each other, and just trying to just push them into a corner when we can. So.
Yeah, and I think it also helps depending on what everyone else runs, because I know this happens with me sometimes because I run Thermalink on my Hydra, which is a bit of an odd tactic, but it allows me to be more or less a one-man echolocator, where I can hopefully just tap the enemies with a couple of shots and then immediately give callouts to everyone as, oh, they're here, here, and here, in order to allow them to get some in, and then the Slayers do absolutely incredible. We would not be nearly as as much of a threat without them absolutely being able to make the right decisions at the right time to get as many picks as they do.
I think our comms usually don't change. We usually try to stay focused, calling out people, making plays. It's just that we try to start the initiative to get momentum going. And so getting those first picks, taking map advantages first, and then starting to push the advantage state to the point where to push the advantage state so that the other team has to respond. Because at the end of the day, they only need one good push to stop us. But it goes the same way other way around. We only need one good push to get lead.
Right, and that mindset is just so crucial to have during these moments. So I could totally see where you guys are coming from. Neptune, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just also wanted to add it on is we also keep our composure, as Alex mentioned before, right? It's very, like, our chat is very chaotic, right, with the callouts, but overall, I think we just keep very well composed on the team, right? We don't get tilted, we don't get frustrated, right? That's one of the things I think that just helps us quite a bit when trying to come back from situations that seem impossible, right? Because that's like one thing that I notice, like a lot of players, like they get tilted, right, and then they start zeroing on like trying to get one guy or like not focus too much on the objective rather than the bigger picture, right? And I do think we do a great job of communicating as a team, keeping our composure, and just keeping map control overall.
Love that positive mental attitude there, that PMA, because I absolutely agree with you personally that keeping that composure and preventing tunnel vision is so crucial nowadays. So I'm glad that you guys also have that understanding and trust with each other. I think that's a good way of putting it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I trust all these guys with my life if I would.
That's what happens a lot with college teams, I
Yep.
feel, is that like there's a different bond, I guess. Well, and speaking of college, last question before we head into our last matchup here. As college students, how do you guys prepare for the matches each week relative to balancing with, of course, your schoolwork and your studies? Could you maybe share how you guys have been dealing with that and experiencing that? Since I'm sure each one of you have different schedules, different majors, other commitments outside Splatoon. I can definitely understand that. So I'd love to hear your guys' experiences with juggling all of that.
Yeah, I can definitely speak on that. WPI does not make it easy for us. WPI is a very rigorous school and stuff. So kind of it's a little bit difficult sometimes to find the time to play together to scrim if possible. But I really try to make sure that everyone is kind of aware of what's going on for the week and kind of voices their opinion. One thing I think has definitely helped us is that I really much try to get everyone's personal preference on maps and modes they want to play for the coming match and like weapons they want to do. I really take the organization of this team pretty seriously because I want to see it do well. I want people to have fun. I want us to compete. So so it's definitely a little bit more chaotic than I think some schools have it, but we make it work. So.
Man, that's awesome. If anyone else wants to share their own experiences with scheduling, balancing school and life, please feel free to share because like you attested to, Corona, I think balancing and staying communicative and being on top of all your schedules is really key to having a successful collegiate team.
To a degree, it kind of comes with the way our school's set up, because instead of having 6 classes at a time, we only have 3. So that makes it slightly more manageable, but it's mostly Krona who is doing the heavy lifting here. I cannot credit him enough, because he is always on time with, weekly Google forms on updating our time. Updating availability times, updating our map preferences and our weapon preferences for the week, and we all get it done within a reasonable amount of time, and then he's able to orchestrate, scrims and matches from there. And honestly, this team wouldn't be nearly as successful without his incredible leadership.
Agreed. Just the when to meets especially help us find times for us to meet up and either practice, scrim, or get ready for the matches. And there's always time to warm up as well. And Alex always encourages us and notifies us, hey, make sure you're here at this time, right? And just having an organizer like that is critical for having a balance between schoolwork and game. Yeah.
Right, for sure. I mean, just that constant communication. It sounds like you guys got a handle on that, and that'll pay off dividends in the long run. I can assure you that. All right, with that being said, I think we are just about at time. We have a final matchup ahead for our triple header of the night. Thank you, WPI, Wooster. We finally got it down. Wooster Polytechnic Institute. Thank you all so much for joining us for this impromptu interview. We greatly appreciate your time and commitment to the league. So thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it.
No,
Thank you for having
guys.
us.
And good
Yeah.
luck in the
Thank you for having
playoffs.
Thank you for having us.
Oh yeah,
you put on a
congrats on the
good show.
playoffs. Yeah, congrats on the
Thank you.
playoffs part. That's important.
Hopefully we'll get to talk again with you all soon.
Yes, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully.
All right. We'll be tuning into the stream.
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
please
So-
do. All right, that'll be it for now. We're going to take a super short break as we head into our final matchup. So do not go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back soon.